Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. Africa's largest exhibition of civil and military aviation, maritime and land-based defence technologies was held in Pretoria last week. Keith Campbell attended the Africa Aerospace and Defence 2012 and joins me now in studio. Keith, welcome to Second Take. Can you mention some of the significant developments concerning the South African aerospace industry?
Yes, of course the first thing to emphasise is the word some. A lot of activity at the show. It's estimated that there were some 40,000 visitors on the trade days from about 31 different countries. So anything I say is only scratching the surface. Well, I suppose one of the most significant developments was the announcement of the creation of the Joint Aerospace Steering Committee by the Department of Trade and Industry. This is intended to try and stimulate the development of the South African aerospace industry. It's a recommendation from the Aerospace Sectoral Development Plan, and it's actually been set up. The JASC or JASC is intended to implement the Sector Development Plan for aerospace. It's intended to identify flagship programs and to coordinate various activities. And the government sees it as an initiative they're starting, but they want it to be headed by someone from outside government, and it will have the support of its own dedicated secretariat, and it will have representatives from government departments, the industry, research and development institutions, and financial institutions. And of course, there are various other announcements. For example, Denel, the South African State-owned defence group, announced a joint venture company with a United Arab Emirates company called Tawazun Holdings. The joint venture will be based in the United Arab Emirates and will be called Tawazun Dynamics. Be 49% held by Denel and 51% held by Tawazun. And this, the South African end, is the responsibility of Denel Dynamics, which of course is Denel's missile, precision-guided weapons and unmanned air vehicles business. And Tawazun Dynamics will be focusing on these systems for marketing in the United Arab Emirates and the Middle East. Interestingly enough, Denel stressed Tawazun's manufacturing capabilities and that this deal will strengthen Denel Dynamics' manufacturing base. And there were various other deals. Denel Aviation signed maintenance agreements with Russian and Ukrainian companies for helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft operating in Africa. And there are various other announcements, presentations, unveilings of new versions of systems, new vehicles, new weapon systems. Quite a lot went on, yes.
Are international companies still interested in possible future South African defence equipment programs?
Most definitely, yes. For example, the Navy has Project Barrow, which is for new patrol vessels, offshore patrol vessels and inshore patrol vessels. And there were quite a few stands from international shipbuilding companies with models and pictures and drawings of patrol ships and patrol boats, among other vessels, that they're able to offer South Africa and other African countries. And of course, the Air Force has got Project Saucepan for new maritime patrol and maritime surveillance aircraft. And for example, Saab brought out the 340 MSA demonstration maritime surveillance aircraft to the show, which they are marketing to the Air Force for the maritime surveillance role. And also, the Air Force still needs new transport aircraft in the future, and Boeing are considering whether this country could be a potential market for the Giant C-17 Globemaster III strategic transport, one of which was on display courtesy of the United States Air Force Air National Guard as part of the American military contingent at this year's AAD.
Was there any reflection of growing wealth in Africa at the show?
Well, indeed, yes, because one of the most striking things about AAD was the number of business jets or executive jets that were on display. There were probably more executive jets on display than any other category of aircraft. And the Brazilian company Embraer brought 4 of their executive jets. This is by far the biggest participation they've ever had in AAD. The Defense Aviation also attended but did not bring any aircraft. Now, Embraer believes that the market for business jets in Africa is going to grow by 250 aircraft over the next 10 years, and they put a value of $6.3 billion on this growth over the next decade in Africa. It was very striking. Airbus brought the A319 corporate jet, which is a business jet version of the A319 airliner, and Embraer brought the Lineage 1000, which is again a VIP version of the E190 regional airliner. Now, an A390 can easily carry over 120 passengers in airliner capacity, 140, 150. A Lineage can carry 100. And these planes, they were showing the VIP versions of these planes. So you can imagine how luxurious they are.
Keith, thank you very much. That is the Second Take show for this week. Thank you for watching, and join us again next time for more news analysis.